Welcome guys to another crypto market breakdown. We take a look at the total market cap and we're sitting at around $2.5 trillion. Bitcoin dominance rests around 43% and we're resting over $1 trillion in market value. However, it's worth noting Ethereum has been on a beautiful run, up 20% in the last week, breaking over 4,000 a coin and resting at $470 billion, knocking on the door to about $500 billion. When we take a look at Doge, it's sitting at around 50 cents, down from those highs over 20 cents. And I want to point out Cardano has slid up over 33% in the last week. It's a project that I'm not a big fan of, but it is in the top 10. We see Ripple hanging on to 50 billion. However, it's not a coin that I really like to talk about. We see at number 8, though, Internet Computer, ICP, just slid into the top 10 at a $45 billion market cap. It's only been trading for about 2 days on Coinbase. If this is a coin that can stay in the top 10 and I can get more data on it, I will be doing some charts on this coin. However, it's very young and who knows how long it sticks around. So there you have it for the top 10 coins that's worth noting. But there is a coin that I want to mention, and it's sitting at number 39, and that is none other than Matic, called Polygon, sitting at about $5 billion, sitting at 96 cents, up over 30% in the last week. This is a coin that has an amazing narrative. It does layer 2 for Ethereum, and a lot of people like to compare it to Solana. Solana at number 20 with $11.5 billion market cap. That means that Polygon can at least 2x to get into the top 20. However, the big goal here is to get to Binance Coin, sitting at $102 billion from $5 billion. That's over a 20x, which would be absolutely insane to happen in Polygon, and I can easily see it sliding into the top 10. But moving on, we take a look at the total market cap, and we can just see Bitcoin dominance falling, Ethereum dominance rising, and we see other resting at around 20%. Looks like it potentially could be putting in a double top here. However, if alts continue to run, I think this 38% in Bitcoin should play very strong support for a Bitcoin bounce. And moving on, taking a look at how much a dollar gets you in terms of Satoshis, it gets you right now around 1,767 sats. So continue to stack sats, whether you buy $5 a day or $10 a day. You know, if you've bought in $1 a day the last 6 years, you've made over $300,000 investing a little under $5,000. Quite impressive if you ask me. So continue to buy those dips in Bitcoin, even if you're buying just $1. Now let's move on to the charts, and we'll start with Bitcoin. Taking a look at Bitcoin on a 4-hour, this is my Bitstamp chart. We're sitting right above this pitchfork. You can see we held it there, and we wicked and held it there. This is looking very strong. It's pulled back quite a bit and has a lot of room to make some nice gains in the coming days. I want to point it out from a daily. It screams to me this crossover, which is May 14th. Crossovers typically signal volatile events. So I do see it in the coming days, and we'll have to keep our eyes. As long as we hold this line that's very bullish, I think we could potentially be testing this pitchfork and on our way to all-time highs here very soon. I think Bitcoin is due for a nice run. When you just see how long it's been consolidating, Bitcoin running will put a lot of reset on a lot of these altcoins that have ran. It's going to push them down, and we'll see how strong these projects are and if there are buyers there to buy those dips. But we move on and we take a look at Binance chart. Looking at this thing, we take a look at some of the Fibonacci's on here, and we can see this 57.9 has played some rejection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. However, we've held up, you can see on this 54.4 fib twice, not 3 times. We got a nice wick there. So we're just consolidating for the most part here in Bitcoin. This is very bullish, and as long as we remain over 53,500, that's about $1 trillion in value. Moving on to my Coinbase chart. Again, not much on this chart. You see resistance at 59.5, call it. 2 rejections there. And looks like 51.9 is very strong. We haven't hit it since the end of April on the 26th. But ultimately, you see between the Binance at 57.9 and this chart at 59.4. If we can get over these 2 levels, Bitcoin can be seeing 60K and potentially be on its way to new highs. Moving on to Ethereum, we take a look at this thing. It's been on an amazing run. Month of April was nice, and it's starting May right where it left off in April. Sitting at around 7.1 million sats, this thing could potentially keep on running. The next line of resistance is up at 9.1 million sats, and as well as this pitchfork. I really think we're going to hang out more in this area before going just to the moon, but If Bitcoin runs, it's going to cool a lot of these altcoins down, especially Ethereum. I'm not saying it's going to drop in US dollar denomination, but it will drop in Bitcoin denomination. And if it does, keep your eyes out for this about 6.5 million sats. I think this area is very strong in Ethereum. And if we do pull back, like I would say to here, it's a great buying opportunity if you want to get into Ethereum. But let's move on to Binance, the number 3 crypto. And the first thing I notice on this chart is a Fibonacci time series sitting at May 18th on the 4-hour. On the daily, it's sitting at May 17th. Fibonacci time series signal change in directions. And when you look at this chart, we can just see it's been on a nice trend higher. I don't see much more upside in this coin. You can see it looks like it's trying to slow down a bit here. And around 1.23 million sats, 0.0123, should place some resistance here. So I don't see much more upside in this coin. However, I potentially could see it pulling back if Bitcoin runs to this 161 fib at around 0077. Again, guys, when Bitcoin runs, it's going to push a lot of these alts down and actually test how strong are these projects. Moving on, we take a look at Doge to BTC. Most of you guys like to look at Doge in US dollar. I like to look at it in Satoshis. We got rejected around 1100 and we're resting right around this Fibonacci at 878 sats. We're sitting at 900. You can just see on the daily, it looks gassed, potentially be gearing up for a pullback, but keep your eyes out on this 900 Satoshi line. But what does that mean in US dollars? Well, we take a look at this thing on a US dollar chart. You can see we got rejected at this 161 at around 73 cents. Coming back down to this pitchfork, I think this is going to play some very strong support, and it's going to be the bull bear line. If we get below this line, look out. We could potentially be hitting the 61% Fibonacci at around 28 cents. So if you're up quite a bit in Doge, don't be afraid to take some profits off the table and put it into some blue chip cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They might seem boring, but they're projects that aren't going away. Doge has a lot of supply, and it could be dumped on at any moment. I believe the number one holder holds about 28% Doge. So that's a project that I don't really want to be a part of, and it doesn't really do much. Moving on, we take a look at Cardano. Cardano is a coin that I don't really care for. It's a project that's, I think, overvalued in my opinion, and you can see it's potentially be putting in a double top here. You look at my lazy bear indicator, potentially could be ready for a pullback, and if it does, that means I think Bitcoin is going to rally. Sitting around 2,800 sats could place support here. Ultimately, 24 should place some good support. If it does take a turn to the downside, just taking a look at that crossover around June 10th, Cardano is a coin that I think there's just better projects out there if you're looking for a sound investment. Moving on to Ripple, another one that I'm not too fond of. Taking a look at this chart, sitting at 2,600 sats. Look for this 2,300 sat line at 78% fib. We held up there the other day. We'll see. It looks like it's breaking down if you ask me. But when you look at the bigger picture on this thing, it's a project that hasn't been anywhere near where it was back in 2017, 2018. So it's not trending up in terms of Bitcoin, but in US dollar it is because Bitcoin has appreciated so much. So you got to keep your eyes on. If you're getting in an altcoin, the end game should be accumulating more Bitcoin or Ethereum at the end of the day. And this is a coin that I don't think has much upside. Maybe it could get to 4,100 sats, but that's about it. If it does, that means the entire basket of cryptos would be going up. And last, taking a look at the total space, we look at this thing. It's been on a beautiful trend up since September on the weekly, sitting at around 2.4 trillion. I think this can easily see 3.5 trillion in this current cycle. We have a lot more room to the upside. And when you just look at the total value of the stock market, over $90 trillion, the bond market, the real estate market, there's $600 trillion of wealth in this world, and crypto only makes 2.5 trillion. That's a great risk reward if you ask me. I think it has a lot more upside, the total space. So we'll have to take it day by day. But there is one altcoin that I'm keeping my eye on, and that is Matic. Taking a look at Matic to BTC, sitting at around 1,700 sats. This is an amazing project. Does layer 2 for Ethereum. We all know Ethereum fees right now are through the roof. This helps bring them down, and a lot of people are building projects on this network. Taking a look at this thing, we could potentially see 3,000, possibly 4,000 Satoshis, depending how big this coin wants to get. There's a lot of upside in this one. When you look at it from a daily, you can just see it's just been ripping and ripping very hard. I think this coin can easily see double digits. We'll have to take it day by day, but let's get into the dollar range, potentially $2 range, and then I'll have to redraw this chart. When we take a look at it in USD denomination, you can just see we broke back above this 86-cent line. Is a strong pivot. We can see it played resistance. Now it's playing support. The next hurdle would be around $1.06. Getting back and holding that dollar range is strong, but look at these levels in this thing. We could potentially see $2.44. And if we do, I'll have to redraw these charts. But this is a crypto that I really love. And if you don't have it, you can get it on Binance.us. It's under $1. I think you guys should have this in your portfolio. I have Bitcoin and Matic in my portfolio at the moment, heavy Bitcoin, but I am looking for alts with great narratives that can appreciate in Satoshis, and Matic checks the box in all cases. There you have it for the crypto market breakdown. There's my take on the top cryptos as well as an altcoin in Matic that I love. What are some cryptos that you're looking at? Do they have good narratives behind them? It's all about the narrative when it comes to crypto, because anyone can make a project, anyone can make a coin, but are they fulfilling to their promises? And Matic is doing that. But if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. It means a lot when you guys can show some support. And if you want to show some love, hit that subscribe button. It takes a couple seconds. It would mean a lot to me if you guys can do that. I do stock market breakdowns Friday, trending tickers every Monday and Wednesday, and crypto market breakdowns every Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on that note, I will see you in the next one. Have a great night. Take care. Peace.